Are you making fitness recommendations on social media or quote unquote in your newsletter? Are you meeting with clients and giving them some tips on how to improve their health? For fitness and health coaches working with individuals, it is really time we do them justice. I mean, if we're truly personal training, we're giving custom support, coaching, content. These fitness recommendations really need a second glance, a tune up, if you will. I'm Deborah Atkinson. You're listening to She Means Fitness Business. And that is sponsored by my business, Voice for Fitness, where we know that you want to be an inspirational example to midlife women. In order to do that, you need a profitable health and fitness coaching business. The problem is a lack of clients, which makes you feel uncertain about whether you can succeed. I believe you deserve consistent, dependable revenue. And I understand how this feels because I've been there too, which is why I now train fitness professionals internationally. And here's how I do it. We meet on a call, you and I, regularly. We create a plan of action. And number 3, we celebrate your growth because every little baby step is leading to more momentum. So book a call. And in the meantime, I want you to get your business scorecard so you can stop feeling like your dream is slipping away while other less qualified and less heart-centered coaches make sales and get more clients. And instead, you can easily increase your revenue by at least $5,000 a month in 90 days. All right, we're going to dive into this. So very important that you realize that these recommendations came and were born at a time we are no longer in and applied, quite frankly, to men. Not good for women in midlife. So let's acknowledge this. There are all kinds of health coaches. Some are board certified functional health coaches that have a significant depth of study, knowledge, understanding what questions to ask and what the answers reveal. And then there are health coaches that are certified by major associations that have required a little bit more, but really reading a text or reviewing the training videos online, and then taking a test when they're ready and receiving a passing grade of 75% or more. I always wonder about that 25% of comprehension, don't you? And then there are health coaches that have simply adopted the title without diving in to the training of coaching and how to answer questions. They may be giving advice as a fitness or a nutrition professional and not actually coaching. There's a distinction between the two. And for more information on a continuing education course coming up, actually stay tuned at fitnessmarketingmastery.com, where the show notes are for She Means Fitness Business as a part of the Flipping 50 Menopause Fitness Specialist course for free for the alumni and for continuing education course credits. Or as a part of renewing, I'm providing a 2-hour training on coaching to midlife women specifically. So be the first to know by clicking a link I'll put in the show notes, and you'll also learn when the Flipping 50 Specialist opens. But if you're already on that list, just be sure that you realize you'll get a notification when the CEU courses come out. And this is a big one related specifically to coaching. Others coming up will be related to marketing and what it is you need to know, or to the science of the actual training and how you want to develop your programs. Okay, so let's dive into those recommendations and why you really need a far better understanding of why they need to die, in my opinion, my humble opinion. Number 1, healthy snacks, right? How many times have you done a post? These are healthy snacks. These are high protein snacks. What you're implying is that women should be snacking. Not all clients should. A percentage of women over 40, high percentage, are definitely dealing with some blood sugar issues or adrenal stress. They probably do need to snack. However, many more women actually need a fast between their meals. They're not even doing that, and they're just grazing all day long so that liver can function optimally and they can begin to burn fat. Snacks keep someone using what goes in right now. So the need for snacking is actually a clue, a symptom. And yes, for those women who do experience the shakes or nausea or dizziness, they need to deal with that right now. They need to snack, but what you as a coach would want to know and acknowledge is that this is a sign that you need to get to the underlying cause of why do they have this happening? Do they have low blood sugar? Do they have problems with prediabetes? Is there a glucose issue? Do we need to send them to their doctor for a referral? In the Flipping 50 Menopause Fitness Specialist course, we help clients and the trainers who work with them identify which protocol will help them most. We don't take a protocol, a blueprint for apparently healthy people and give it to everybody. So, not somebody who wants more performance based and they want to go to the next level. Hate that term. Sorry about that. And or those who are not feeling good and feeling like they're wiped out after a workout, they shouldn't be doing that. So, food, sleep, exercise, they all need to be unique if this is their status. But suggesting healthy snacks without suggesting when and why and who is, wow, that is a disservice to midlife women. It's keeping some of them fat and confusing them that they should be snacking if you're giving them snack ideas. So, you've got some room there for actually relaying better information. Number two, this one is common, high protein meals, and the problem is that they're coming from inflammatory foods. In 2014, some of the most popular, right? So this is back in time. The most popular pages on Facebook were those that were listed as high protein meals. And now it's on Instagram. It's fitness meals. You look at, fitness meals, you go look for accounts using hashtags and do a search. It's like a search engine anymore. The following on those pages is huge, but the ingredients are often highly inflammatory for most midlife women. Things like dairy and gluten and wheat are in them. That may not bode well for them either. So hormonal changes bring gut issues. This is a side note helping you get some insight into why this is a huge part of the Flipping 50 Menopause Fitness Specialist course. Gut issues show up in skin issues, women having breakouts in their mid to late 50s, weight loss resistance. They're doing everything right, but can't lose the weight, digestive issues, meaning irregularity, they're constipated or they have diarrhea or they have gas and they have bloating, and inability to reduce fat. So maybe somebody isn't overweight, but they've increased, their skinny fat is where they're at. And inflammation, all these problems could be amplified by taking in the wrong things. So all of these can point to a leaky gut, and leaky gut is an obstacle for weight loss and immune function, disease prevention, because not absorbing foods or supplements means there's going to be a gap between what someone thinks is a healthy lifestyle they have and what is really happening for them. So again, high protein meals, yes, but not with inflammatory foods. Find out what they are. Understand that if your client is doing this, you probably need to educate them if you're educated, right? Number three is this is going to be unpopular, especially if you do something very Orange Theory and you have a 4:30 a.m. or a 5 a.m. class, 5:30 a.m., still super early, depending, or you meet with private clients at this time. There's a greater risk of disc issue. We're talking herniated disc within an hour of waking. We have a much higher pressure, intervertebral pressure, because discs plump overnight when we're lying horizontal. That gets them fluid and nourishment. But the problem is we've got that issue until we've been upright for about 60 minutes. 90% of that dissipates I mean, gravity is that powerful. Don't have to be jumping, just being there. That's it. You are just already helping that happen, making some of that dissipate. So, super interesting, but also a buzzkill for those people who want to get it done first thing in the morning. So, if you're suggesting best time to do it is early, as I did for many years, it's got to change. There's a podcast with Dr. Stuart McGill, who's a renowned back pain expert at flipping50.com, and you can do a search there for it, or it'll be on your favorite platform, podcast platform, wherever you listen. It'll help you understand the phenomenon behind this. And here's the deal: don't shoot the messenger. So that's me in this case. If you get the information, you realize you know the information, you're relaying it to your clients. You didn't come up with this. This isn't your, opinion. This is science. You're giving them the information to make an informed decision on their own. They may choose to continue to do it, but you've done your part. That's really important. And you may also decide, I'm not going to work with any woman in midlife, at 4:30, or encourage them to do a class at 4:30. I'm not going to encourage them to do one at 5:30 unless they've gotten up at 4:30 and been upright till then. So you can think about that. You may also, for those really super early morning people, be disrupting sleep, not something midlife women can afford, working with your hormones or hers on a daily basis, as well as on a weekly basis during a month cycle, is so very important. And I won't go into this, but, end of the day isn't ideal for intense exercise either. So HIIT at that 5:30 class is not your client's, best interest. It's not in their best interest for results if they're specifically in midlife, and that's, over 40. Surprised? So there are a lot of blogs and podcasts at fitnessmarketingmastery.com that support the how and the why that this is true. You may also like this, and I'm going to put in a link for that support tool that I created for health coaches and trainers, because they kept saying, are you kidding? Are you kidding? I'm doing all the right things. My programming is here. They're not losing weight, or they lost weight, but they're now exhausted and they're dropping out. And I think their weight's going to come back on. And you cannot create that problem. But ways to help your clients get better results from your programming with some sleep support tips. So I give them all to you and put a link to that in the show notes. But last but not least, this common fitness recommendation is potentially the nemesis of some midlife women. HIIT workouts to burn fat, right? Which is what we think. And it can be super supportive. Don't get me wrong. It can actually help decrease total body fat and help decrease total abdominal fat, primarily in those who are overweight or obese. It's not true. The science isn't there to support that happens in normal weight women who've just had that relocation of fat to the visceral area. But a midlife woman already under a high level of perceived stress, and sometimes not perceived, like we sometimes miss it, or we're in denial because we pushed through for so long, we don't even recognize the fact that, oh my gosh, this is a deal. So more on that in a minute, but it's just increasing cortisol. That's increasing catabolism, right? That is breakdown, right? That is muscle breakdown. And when you're under stress and cortisol is running wild, your body is storing fat easier, and the body cannot store fat and burn fat at the same time. Under stress, it will always opt for what is self-preservation, storing fat. Stressed midlife women, or those who have too little cortisol, needing a nap after workouts, they're burning out. They're not burning fat. So sooner or later, they'll have to stop exercise, stop training with you, potentially because of the fatigue and the tired, exhausted all the time. Their immune system is depleted. They may be sick, and they also may get injured. That's where you see this show up. HIIT workouts should be the smallest percentage of exercise and movement time of a midlife woman, like in any week. And HIIT should also be the last thing added to a routine when you start somebody on a program. You don't throw them the strength training if that's new, plus the HIIT if that's new, plus the change in diet if that's new. That's not very good behavior change protocol, right? You want to do one thing, focus on that, get that nailed, then do another. Focus on that, get that nailed, then add another. That's the best kind of behavior change that we do. So it's really important that you realize HIIT is the last thing that you would add, and that should be the first thing to go if a woman isn't feeling amazing from her exercise and getting results from her program. Okay, there you have it. All right, those are my four common fitness recommendations that I really wish would go away. And I think hopefully you can see or hear from the show notes and or from the podcast that it's maybe not that they go away, but that you give them each a frame of reference, like for who and for when. Because if you're truly doing personal training, it's supposed to be custom. So maybe some of your clients need to snack, but you've got to say millions of women don't all need to snack, and a greater proportion of them actually should not. They should go between meals because they have adequate protein and fiber and nutrients at each meal, that they're not hungry and they don't need a snack and their blood sugar is good. But those who do, they've probably got some underlying thing. That is simply a clue. Keep them snacking, keep them doing the healthy snacking, but looking for what else is happening, because there are a whole set of clues that will tell you what's going on for them. Okay, there you have it. I hope this was helpful. It's a little shorter, but it is something to give you a cause to pause. Like, pay attention to what are you maybe blindly giving out as fitness recommendations that no longer fit women, and or this too is an opportunity for social media or content creation to be able to say, hey, I want you to know I saw this and refer to a post. And I want to tell you why this could be so confusing and potentially harmful for you, and here, go into it. So do some education. You don't have to throw anybody under the bus to do that, but you can, point out, here's what I saw, here's what I heard, here's why I don't agree with this. And you're doing really not original content, but the comment on content, which also can increase your credibility and your authority and stir up questions too. So what are you waiting for? The world needs you right now more than ever, and I would love to hear from you. You can comment at the show notes at fitnessmarketingmastery.com/common fitness recommendations. And what are you waiting for? The world needs us right now more than